Full disclosure, this video you're about to watch is going to be informative, but not formal at all. I didn't even plan on making a video, but we're out here in LA right now kind of wrapping the trip up. And I had this idea that I would take all the videos that were really lit and scenic and etc. and just put them all together. So some of them are going to be vertical, but I'll kind of pause and annotate and explain things so that it covers how we were able to pull off this 7-day, 8-day trip for me. We went to Joshua Tree. We just traveled basically all the way from Santa Barbara all the way down to San Diego.
Style is the answer to everything.
Now, did we have to rent a Tesla? Absolutely not. This is not part of the saving money portion of this video. However, I just really wanted to drive one, so I went on Turo. It's an app. I highly recommend it. The car ended up costing about $180 per day, plus our supercharging came out to, I think, around $35. So definitely not the cheapest route to go. Again, the app is Turo. Otherwise, if you want to rent a car, I would say you could probably get one for about $80 a day using Priceline or various other sites for renting cars. And there's also apps. You can just do some research on that. It's really simple. So in that beautiful montage of Snapchats, you saw Teddy's Red Tacos, Venice Beach Skate Park, riding some rental bikes, and Santa Monica / the Bungalow, which was the name of the club that we ended up finding. Teddy's Red Tacos, I highly recommend. I went there 2 times and just really enjoyed that food. Venice Beach, you gotta see it if you've never been, but it's not the safest, it's not the nicest place to be. Just check it out once and you'll probably be good. Santa Monica, obviously nice to go see Santa Monica Pier, very touristy type attraction, a lot of families and stuff out there. The Bungalow was a free entry, house party vibes, laid back, a little bar / club. You just really felt like you were in a house. They had fireplaces everywhere. Like I said, free entry, and then the drinks were reasonably priced. I would say around $10 to $12 per mixed drink. Off rip, went out there with no plans and found this place, hung out there all night, and really just had a great time.
Boy up here got us out here at this scenic place.
I should mention that this was day number 3 for myself, day number 2 for one of my friends, and day number 1 for the other friend. And then the other friend, he lives in California. I think that's right. So I stayed the first night on credit card points with the Marriott Bonvoy American Express card. I definitely love this card and use it for all my purchases. I end up getting enough points to stay at a Marriott for free pretty often. So definitely love that. The second night, we split the cost between 2 people for, I think, a total of $80 per person. Booking.com or Priceline, again, very simple. You're just gonna wanna filter by lowest price and then check to see if they have paid parking. Because if you're driving a vehicle and they advertise one price and then they charge you $50 a day for parking or valet, it's gonna end up not being your cheapest option. What you just saw was we went out on the beach and my friend Austin proceeded to completely trash his shoes by getting a wave crash on them while we were trying to, flick him up real quick for IG. And then we met up with a friend from California. We split the gas in his car, which was about $20 per person, to head about an hour south of LA to a place called Rancho Palos Verdes. It's a place that you saw in the clip where we were just chilling and looking at the ocean and then from off this big cliff. And then we went down this walking trail which was a pretty long walk. But when we got to the bottom, there was this all natural beach, and we climbed some rocks and found a cave. All of that minus the fuel to get there was free. It's not an official park or anything like that. It was just a nice scenic little place. If I can find the exact name of the specific little private beach that we went to, I'll drop that in the video.
Oh, okay, that's it?
So next we saw some normal LA traffic stuff. Then we pulled up to the Airbnb for the night in Whittier, which is probably about 40 minutes southeast of downtown LA. We went to a place down the street from there called Chillin'. It was really good, boba tea dessert place. Next we went to some club, showed everyone how to dance like nobody's watching. Then Austin said he was tired, Joel said he was tired, and Amir said White Claw.
That's it?
The Airbnb was about $200. That seems to be the going rate after cleaning fees, taxes, all that stuff. It comes out to be $200 even when you're looking for a pretty cheap place. It might start off as saying $80 a night, but it's going to be $150, $200 a night. We split the $190 4 ways. It was like $47 per person.
Grub time.
So next we went to this place called Chicken Coop, had some good food, drove out to Joshua Tree to the desert, got a nice little panning shot here, flicked up our boy Austin because he's Instagram famous, observed a large amount of cacti. Joel proceeded to grab one and got a bunch of needles stuck in his finger, but I didn't record it. I scaled up this really big rock. It was kind of scary, and if I would have fell, I definitely would have gotten hurt. But the views were definitely worth the risk, in my opinion. If you look really closely down there, yeah, that's Austin. He looks really small because I'm really high up, and apparently it was not worth it in his opinion. Vibes. Here we are doing something perfectly legitimate, climbing up on top of a building so that we can get a nice view of the sunset. We made it just in time. We then climbed some rocks out in the desert, and Amir had a little bit too much to drink. As you'll see here, he looks pretty wasted. We continued watching the sunset, hung out here until it was pitch black, and looked at stars all night in Joshua Tree. Back at the Airbnb, which cost about $48.50 per person in Joshua Tree, we, of course, drink responsibly. Don't recommend that you take it past the limit, especially when you're drinking Hennessy. Speaking of Hennessy, this cost us probably about $40. We could have gone for something a little cheaper, but, you know, you only live once. The next day, we drove a few minutes up the street to some fantastic crystal shop. Not really into it, but I can understand and respect it. Next, we wrote down a whole bunch of really, really nice things about ourselves. Next, we drove down to San Diego, which took about 2.5 hours and $20 per person in fuel. Minutes before arriving in San Diego, we stopped at this place called Alibaba in El Cajon, California. It's a really good Arabic restaurant. Then we met up with friends, and we come out here to, I think this is Sunset Cliffs in San Diego. It was absolutely beautiful. We watched the sunset, and we became close with some new friends and ended up staying with them this night completely for free. So that really helped us out, and I have to spend another $200. Also, we heard it was like National Ice Cream Day, so we had to.
All I'm saying.
So we asked the friend that we were staying with where we should go out tonight. It was a Sunday, so we were looking for a cool spot. We went out here to a place called Gas Lamps. We walked around and we just didn't see anything that was really exactly fitting our vibe. So Joel asked this guy that was taking out the trash where we should go, and he said PB, which I think stands for Pacific Beach. We get in the car, drive about 15 minutes to Pacific Beach, sacrifice one of our friend's shoes. We may or may not have jumped a fence. We dropped off a mirror at his house in Santa Barbara, hung out there for a little while, and we grabbed a rental car. We drove from there down to Malibu. If you're ever in Southern California or Los Angeles, I would definitely recommend that you make it a point to drive up to Malibu. And the places that I could recommend is Point Doom or Sycamore Beach, which is this beach right here. We ended up staying at another Airbnb in LA, which again was that $200 price range. It was $202, so $67 per person. That was 3 people that stayed there. The next morning early, I had to take Joel and Austin to the airport. From there, I spent one more night in LA just because it worked out for my flights to be cheaper. I actually used a free night award that I got through my Marriott Bonvoy credit card to stay at a Residence Inn in Marina del Rey, which is a Marriott hotel. This place was probably my favorite Marriott stay that I've ever had in my life. This place was just extremely clean and it felt very modern. They upgraded me automatically to a nicer suite. I just really enjoyed the food, the views of the marina, the service. They held my bags for me after I checked out at 2 p.m. the next day because I had a late night flight. So I was able to do all that and then spend the rest of the day, my last day, until about 8 p.m. walking around. Like I said, I had went to the taco place twice, so I went back and got some more tacos and I watched the sunset, just hung out on the beach all day and had a fantastic end to the trip. I will now total up every penny that I spent, and then you can pretty much assume that everyone else spent about the same amount that I did to get the total minus the Tesla cost. I covered that just because it was something that I personally wanted to spend money on. So everything except for that will be what it really cost for 3 to 4 people to go out to California, to the southern part of California for an entire week. Okay, here's the breakdown on the money I spent personally on this trip. The plane ticket was $825. The Tesla was $395. The rental car was $219. Lodging, Airbnbs, hotels, that was $270. Fuel for friends' cars, $60. Food, drink, and alcohol, a whopping $412.41. Uber and Birds, so like riding scooters, that was $171.20, bringing the total to $2,352.61 that it cost for an entire week in Southern California. I hope this video inspired you to go out and travel if you're thinking about it. Of course, we did spend quite a bit of money, but I still think that we were smart in how we did it and we saved money in the long run and in as many ways as possible. Of course, if you can educate yourself on how to get good deals and how to get a credit card and use credit card points and cash back, you don't have to spend as much money as you think. So just pull the trigger on it, go out somewhere, maybe closer to your house where you don't have to get that expensive plane ticket, and just give it a try. I really want to inspire people to just live and be free and be happy because life is extremely short, and I don't want anyone that I know to finally wake up when they're 65, 70 years old and realize that they never lived life and now it's almost too late. They're almost too old to go out and do the things that they once would have been able to do with ease. So thanks guys for watching. Hope you really enjoyed the video. Till next time.